presentation.
Hi.
Hi.
I appreciate the chance to talk to council, and I'm really grateful to the people who talked beforehand. Thank you. I wanted to talk about the increase of the police budget at the expense of other ways of spending money to make our communities safer. I have one example, and this is a personal example, but I think that it can be used to sort of expand further. I think that this single example can be used to expand ideas of caring for other communities. This example both comes from lived experience and the work I do. I'm autistic, and I'm also a PhD student in critical disability studies, working on the intersection of autism and public policy. One of the projects that I'm investigating is it's funded by the government, and it's about elopement. Elopement is what non-autistics call it when autistics wander off. They wander off for a lot of reasons, because they're bored or scared or frustrated or don't know where they are, or because the people around them aren't paying attention. We tend to pathologize disabled people. So the wandering off, if you aren't on the spectrum, doesn't have a special word. And if you are on the spectrum, you do. It does have a special word, and whole clusters of non-spectrum academics who are deeply curious about the phenomenon and not the person. One of the things that happens when people who are autistic wander off is that the caregivers of those autistic people call the cops. Autistic people aren't good at reading signals and aren't good at implicit protocol. We're often not good at explicit protocol. Really, protocol is not a wheelhouse. That was a joke, you guys can laugh. They tend to get hurt by the police because of these two factors. There's a study from CAMH in 2019 which states, quote, in 19% of police interactions, physical restraints were used. In 30% of the cases, the person who was escorted to an emergency department, only 2 of those interactions resulted in criminal charges as autistic people. This does not only mean that wandering off, it could mean other things. I acknowledge that. But let's stick to the wandering off for a minute. You do something that is not criminal, that is ordinary and well within your rights. The caregivers are worried about you, and they don't have any other resource but the police. That move means the person on the spectrum is viewed as a criminal. They are treated as criminals. The police do not have the training or the understanding of autistic people and autistic experiences, language, or even culture. Everything has to be funneled via a method which is read by history or experience as antagonistic or even unsafe, or especially unsafe. If we only fund the police to help with these encounters, then every encounter is a police encounter. If we fund service groups, or in the mode of radical disability justice, nothing for us without us, actual autistic people, to find people who have wandered off, then it will be safer for those autistic folks. So I'm talking for my community here because I have the research and the background to do that. But it can be expanded. When someone admits to wanting to kill themselves, our reaction is to send police. Coast, for example, goes with the police. To force them into hospitals, to have nurses or healthcare workers function as guards. When someone is poor and has no place to stay, instead of funding homes, we fund cops, criminalizing them, and the same with those who use drugs. I don't want this statement to just talk about autistic people. Just as an autistic person, acknowledging the harm that the cops can do in my community and have that harm be used as one of a large number of examples of other communities and other spaces. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you giving your presentation today from a personal experience as well as from your studies. Does anyone have any questions of our guest? Seeing none, thank you very much. We're moving on to item 6.14, Teresa Cardy, respecting the Care Fair campaign submission